This is a Waterman Skyline nib, very juicy. This is a older wall pen from the 20s. Equally wet, but fine is finer. And now what am I going to do with this mess I've made on camera? I'll just fill it in. I'm wasting time. I should be working. But I'm mark making. And just enjoying making patterns with this pen, these pens, back with the Skyline here. I've zoomed in on my camera. I'm just wondering how well this works, because I do like getting nice and close up here, especially when one is dealing with a very fine nib. Neither one of these are particularly, I mean, they're fine, but they're not crazy fine. This is a crazier fine nib here. This is a Schaefer Feather Touch, I think. You can tell by the size of the pen nib that this is a rather small drawing. Small doodle. This isn't really a drawing. It's maybe 1.5 inches across, 2 inches long. Look how fine that is. Move this a little bit without this paper is a metallic reflective paper, and there's little bits of sparkly bits in it that keep it from absorbing ink exactly the way a normal piece of paper will do. But the lines that this pen is making are equally fine on any paper. You also hear the sound of the nibs a little bit more on this paper, or it's a different sound because of the metallic bits. And I don't believe the metallic bits are coarse enough to cause any damage to the nibs. Look how wet this is. Nice and wet. Anyway, at the end of the day here, I have used maybe 3 square inches maybe of paper. And I've drawn maybe 750 lines. I wasn't counting them, but you could go back, watch the video again, and count them. I could sit here all day long and do this. And maybe you can sit here all day long and watch this. People are suggesting I make these ASMR videos because they find my voice soothing. Maybe I should try that. There's one guy on YouTube that shows his pennies, and he just looks at them, talks about them, reads the date on them, the mint on them, and then he goes to the next penny. And he has hundreds of pennies, and the video is probably an hour long. And for those people that get their little brain orgasms because of that, good for them, I guess. I mean, it's great that they can do that. It's great, it's great, it's huge, it's huge, great, it's hugely great. Sorry for ruining this by imitating our president. Sorry, the person inhabiting the White House. Mar-a-Lago. No, I go to Mar-a-Lago. So let's get a ruler out here and measure. Oh, my kingdom for a ruler. Does this actually have? It does. Inches. There we go. It's very funny. Ruler goes backwards. So from one end of the drawing to the other end of the drawing, we are 3 1/4 inches by 1 1/2 inches. So I'll zoom back out again here so you can see. Three inches. Come on. No, those are centimeters. By 1 1/2. Why couldn't we just go metric? How difficult is it? So we have, a couple of generations of confused people on the planet. Don't get me on my soapbox. Why can't we just have one kind of screwdriver? Phillips or the standard kind, flathead? Just decide. Why doesn't the UN do things like that? Make a decision. And then the hardware stores would be half the size that they are now. A big box would be a slightly less big box. The The screw department would be half the size. And while you're at it, wrenches. Make a nut. 6 sides or 4? Just decide. Can you just make that decision for us, please? How difficult is it? But then again, someone would say, why don't we just make all pens one size? And then I would say, oh no, we need to have pens of all different sizes. Well, no, we need to have screwdrivers of all different types. The Phillips family of Phillips screwdrivers, they need to get their royalties. And Mr. Flathead and his family need their royalties. So just stick with it. Because if they tell me that I can't have my pens, here I sound like the NRA. Don't get me started. So again, I could sit here all day long. I'm not going to fill that in. I like that there. What do we think? We need more red. I'm missing the mark here because I'm looking at the screen through the camera rather than at the pen on the paper. I want to keep that white. Well, I think I'm done. What do you think? It looks like a Dubuffet and the love child of a Dubuffet drawing or painting and a engraved note of some European democracy. That's another thing I'd change if I were the President of the United States. Do something important. Make the money that we have here actually interesting. A bunch of dead white people. Can we, change that? And change the national anthem to something that has a melody that can be sung. I think the national anthem should be America the Beautiful. It's a beautiful song. You don't have bombs bursting in air and flags, and then you have to change the flag. The flag is just stupid. They should all be burned and replaced. I mean, just put out of their misery. And then, Betsy Ross did not take a design class. She would not have built the flag the way she did. The stars by themselves is all you need. You don't need those stripy bits. We should just be thankful that she didn't have some paisley and calico in her sewing box, because you can imagine what she would have done if that were the case. And Francis Scott Key would have to come up with new rhymes. And the paisley and plaid, and we were so glad to get over. Can you just imagine? Whatever. Okay, I think I've stopped. I need to stop. Thank you for watching and listening.